Welcome, welcome. Hold on, I got the plugs on. Oh, shit. Yo, so welcome to another episode of the LZ show, right? What I want to talk about, right, is how to always show love, to your higher power. And right, one of the ways you show love to your higher power is by just worshiping, you know? You got to worship. Now, here's the thing, right? I don't usually get like this, but I saw something, right? So I visited my IG. Like, I'm not the type of guy who stays looking at their posts over the years, but I went to my post on one of my channels, and I started looking at all the posts that I put over the years, and it just shows me a character, a very, very interesting character. And there's a lot of there's a lot of entertainment, there's a lot of seriousness, and there's a lot of sadness. But it's okay because sad, it expresses the pain, and pain is needed. So it's who's good at expressing that pain. And in any pain, there is some type of, sadness to it. But it show. I mean, I'm looking at the character that I've been displaying over the years, and at times it makes me laugh. At times it makes me praise. Like, wow, what a genius! Like, he just said that. Like, I'm looking at my own things, and I'm like, oh shit. And then some of them marvel me, some of them baffle me, some of them like I said, it just makes me laugh, and some of them is like it should have never been posted. Like, I feel like it should have been private. It's like sad, and personal maybe. and then there's a lot of vulnerability. And but then there's a lot of strength, and there's a lot of you know, bravery, courage, and I'm looking at all of this, and I'm just like, man, this, at times I think the guy is a genius. Very good at his art and craft. But again, it expresses pain, because it's tied to real life. And there's so many poetry coming out of the mouth of this character, right? Like, there's so much words of wisdom, and like, cause like, when you get distracted in life, right? You forget what things are about. You go about and you become this crazy thing, very, very, opposite of, what you were destined to be. But then when you have these reminders, like these channels, right, that have been posted over the years, and you look at you just recollect, and you start going over the things, and some of them took place in different locations and different states, and maybe different countries and stuff like that. And you just look at this shit, and you just be like, what the hell? Yo, I laugh at some of it because some of it is funny, but some of it is very, very, emotional and sad. Like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, this really happened. Like, you should have not went through that. There should be like a therapy, maybe like some, it's like not a joke. But it makes me think of certain famous people who were depressed and they hung themselves or killed themselves, suicide and stuff like that. It gets very tragic, but no matter what, no matter what condition, you should never let them kill your spirit. Because first of all, you can't sell what can't be gripped. So they can never buy your soul for you to sell your soul. And once you learn that, you understand a little more of that. But yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it like that, cause, well, nah, cause I just felt like, yo, I had to talk about the character of this guy, because the character of this guy, like I said, it exposes a lot of things from like, drama, action, violence, emotion, sadness, reality, pain. Like I said, it's a mixture of a lot of things. What's missing? I mean, there are a few things missing, but no life is perfect, right? But it's working towards that, and the more you see that, the more you get to see the authenticity of a modernized, Aristotle or something, Trismegistus, let me see, freaking Apollo or something, Isaac Newton, and yeah, man. So I'm one of the greats, and that's what I do. But I should be I should be like I guess I could hug myself, but because it's a lot of it, it goes unnoticed. Like I said, you go through life, you get distracted, and you kind of like forget who you are. I never forget, you know what I mean? But I'm blessed to have little reminders, at least, all these accomplishments and stuff like that I post and leave as residue, remainings and stuff like that. But most people are not blessed to see that, so they forget who they are, and they become this whole thing where they get lost in that, world, and a lot of it comes to an end very tragic and stuff like that. So for some character to exist that had post those blessings, over the years, and like I said, it's not perfect, because maybe I should be more like a clown, ridiculous, and know how to joke, because I see no humor in it. Like the guy he's too serious, you know what I mean? Over the years, you see the seriousness of his writings and the music and the, there's no like play, there's no joke. And so maybe that's where I should work on. I should just flip out and just go crazy. I don't know. But as it combusts and figures itself out in the imperfect world, it strives nonetheless for perfection, So I said enough, though. Like I said, I just wanted to talk about that because it tripped me out. Because, I was feeling a certain mood. I was kind of feeling down. And then, this brought me up. Like it made me feel elevated. It made me feel animated, invigorated, animated. And how should I make you laugh, right? Like, what should I say to make people have that right emotion or vibe? Because, I don't know. Maybe I'm punching the bag and that's what the character does over the years. It expresses that. But what this insight does, right? Because this guy has infinite knowledge, like the symbol describes. This goes deep. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just any gargle or anything coming out of it. Everything makes sense, even in its rubbish. And this guy has a tech, and the tech is that he is connected to something that brings them back to a higher power. A lot of people don't have that tech, They don't, like I said, they forget who they are, and they never knew how to adapt, And luckily for my vessel, the vessel holder, me, luckily for me, right? I get to have that tech naturally, just by occasionally dropping by and looking what I've done over the years, to see if I'm keeping myself fit, basically, staying sharp, because as you age, and then you're in distraction, right? You're in the lost, the shadows, the darkness, whatever you want to call it, you're in that, right? And that consumes you to the point where you become, you crumble, you become decapitated over the years. You maybe get hurt, or you get physically impaired, and now you're, I don't know, a lot of things, and this guy has a tech that basically not renovates, reinvigorates and innovates, and constantly in a state of like becoming stronger, expressing the infinite, of course, with a lot of zeal. And it's very interesting. That's all I gotta say. I suggest spend 1 hour scrolling through my page, like, 'cause that's what I did. That's why I'm saying all this, because like I said, I haven't visited my page, and I don't remember how long, but I was interested. Like, I was like, what? I don't even know what made me to go and just look through my old posts and stuff like that. But it was the sound, because I kept hearing the music and then the videos, and then that shit just kept me like kept going, and it was snippets too. It wasn't like you get a whole version. It was like 15-second clips, and then wow, and then wait, I want to hear the whole thing, but wait, and then you kept going to see if there's more, and I kept seeing more, but it was like, catching me. It was baiting me. My own shit was like hooking me, and I was like, damn, I was in it, man. I was like, damn, that's it, man. I can't win. And then every flip, every scroll led to something better, and it was like, damn, it doesn't come down. It doesn't come down. Like, it doesn't, like, all right, that's the end of the show. Like, no, it keeps getting better and better. Like, I want to stick around. And last thing you know, I'm in this shit for like more than an hour. I'm like, oh shit, hold on, I gotta stop. You know what I mean? Because that's too much. So that's when I stopped, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk about this, because I can't be the only. This technology. I can't be the only one with this shit. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's something that's, I'm working on it. Because like I said, maybe I should be more funny. And I don't know how to be funny. And maybe I should make maybe facial expressions and stuff like that, and maybe just like look stupid. And I don't know, and more ridiculous. But like I said, this character is forever. It's a strong character, man. He's not here to whimper and and dim his energy. This character has a force, right? And a technology, as I kept explaining, that basically changes the ground you step on, the globe, because it's so like it's been maturing over the ages, over the time. Cause like I said, I spent an hour looking at this shit, and it gives you like this is only getting better, and improving and getting stronger and faster, and though it expresses all that pain and sadness and stuff like that, it shows you like it's like resilient and victorious, and accomplishes and never gives up, and but it's not easy, and like I said, there's things to overcome, there's emotions to overcome. A lot of them take place in places where I wish upon nobody, because it's dreadful, and maybe I don't express it, or bring it, manifest it, bring it to life, because that's not a good energy to talk about anyway. So you try to surpass it by leaving good things behind and shit. And I saw like, if I'm gonna be this evil entity, let me part way with the only purity that I had in this digital shit, you know, and all my imperfections live in reality, but in this little space that nobody could see, I'ma just throw all the purity of it, you know, even though the reality is way different. But that's the energy, you know, that's what expresses duality, and the polarity, even in the symbol that I'm about to get a tap, man, expressing my symbol, but I haven't found the artist yet. But yeah, man, it's an interesting. Like I said, what I recommend is you just visit it one day. You know, no pressure. When you get a chance, and stick around for like an hour, just scrolling through that shit. You know, 1 hour or two, and just like see what it does to you. You know, and when you realize what it does to you, say some good comments. I'm open to suggestions, like good advice. You know, like I don't care about the good critiques, but if the critique sounds phony, I'm not gonna take the good critiques. I'm gonna just get rid of that shit. You know, cause it's not making me better. It's only making me like angry type of shit. You know, so I'm only taking good critiques. But I am open to that. You know, and throw a little bit of something that I already know that I'm doing, you know. Oh man. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, and remember, once you done this homework or assignment that I left you right with, you don't have to stop there. You could visit my other channels as well. You know, I have several that I've been, throwing, like I said, these silliness over the years. Some of them very artistic, some of them very profound, some of them very, personal. And like I said, it shouldn't be on there. It should have not made it. You know, it was meant to be deleted, and it's still there. You know, like why haven't you deleted it? You know, and it's there, but so go easy on me, man. But like I said, it's all there. Tell me what you think, and thanks, and that's that with all of that.